really vivid dreams about this guy. And it got so bad to the point to where I literally had a dream about him every single day for like 5 days in a row, and they were all nightmares. Hi guys, my name is Brie. Welcome back to my channel if you're a returning subscriber, and welcome to my channel if you're new. So for today's video, I'm going to be sharing a very unique story. I've wanted to do like one of these videos for a long time, especially like story times, but I didn't know exactly what to talk about. And I've been contemplating back and forth for a while if I wanted to tell this story, just because of how freaking humiliating it is to me, because of how stupid I was being in this time. Are you dumb? I was just trying to be a good person. But in the ending of the process, I ended up getting played very hard. And while I'm talking about this story, I'm also going to do my makeup for the day, just getting ready and shit like that, because I have things to do today. So let's go ahead and get started into my humiliating story. I'm not even sure if I'm going to actually do foundation or anything like that today. Okay, boom. So to start this story off, this all happened last year. Okay, so in February. So I first got my job at Walmart. Some of you guys may know that I used to work at Walmart. I don't work there anymore, but I got my job at Walmart last year, and I think it was on February 5th. That was the day of my orientation. I walk into my orientation, and there's, you know, me and this other group of people who also got hired and are having our orientation. So we're walking around the store, they're showing us the store and telling us, you know, about the point policy and like uniforms and, you know, what we're allowed to wear and what we're not allowed to wear. Oh, I need to look at my mirror real quick. Blase, all of that good stuff. And there's this boy there that I guess was interested in me in some way. So at the end of the orientation, like when we're about to leave and my mom is about to come and get me because, you know, we're done with orientation, we're walking out the door and he comes up to me and he's like, hey, my name is, what are we gonna name him for this video? Adrian. We're gonna name him Adrian. I'm like, oh, my name is Brielle, you know. And he starts asking me questions like, you know, what school I go to and like how old I am, stuff like that. Just trying to get to know him, be nice. And, you know, we make some jokes, like we're laughing here and there or whatever, and we're like walking around and stuff, waiting for our ride to get there. At first, I'm not thinking anything about this guy. Like, I'm just like, you know, okay, he's cool, he's nice. I'm thinking he's gonna be like one of my little work friends or whatever. I'm not looking at him in any type of way like that. So, you know, time goes on. I've been working there for a few weeks now, and that's when, like, sometimes he didn't work in my department, so I worked in like the back in OGP, which is like online grocery pickup. So like, let's say you want to order some groceries from Walmart and you want to come pick them up. I was basically the department that would go and get the groceries and then take them to your car. So, and I believe he worked in the front, and he would do stuff like take the return cards and put the return items back and stuff like that. Sometimes when I was at work, you know, we would see each other, obviously, because we both worked there. Sometimes we would go on like our lunch breaks together and stuff like that. But it was just so awkward because I did notice that every time that we would go on a lunch break together or like we would be together, he would like try to make it in an area where nobody else could see. And I peeped that early on, but I just was like, well, maybe I'm just like, you know, thinking about it too hard, or I'm just, you know, whatever. I don't think it's that serious. Also, at this time, like I said, it was February. It was the beginning of the year. It was a new year. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be a new person. New year, new me. I'm trying to have new beliefs and be more of a positive person, and like just trying to see the good in people and not trying to see the negative in people always, and not trying to focus on the negative outcomes or negative situations that could happen. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to try to see the good of this person. I'm not going to like say, oh, he's a hoe because of this or he's that because of that. Like, I'm just going to see how this plays out, see how this works out. So one day, I'm walking around, like about to go buy a snack or something like that, and I see him, and he comes up to me, and he's talking to me and stuff like that, and he's like, yeah, well, I got my car now, so I'm gonna let me take you home tonight. I'm like, cool, because this is back before I had a car. So I'm like, cool, I'll let you take me home. That's right, that's all right, that's cool. You know, I ain't gotta pay for an Uber. I don't have a problem with that. By the way, I forgot to mention, it was so weird, like, for the longest time I thought that we were connected in some way because of like similarities that we had. Like, we both had similar career paths that we wanted to take, and we both like went to 2 of the same schools. But it was like, I had went to this high school, and like the year that I transferred from this high school to another school, he was going to that other school, but the year that I transferred, he transferred to the school that I was going to, and it was like we flip-flopped. So I was like, damn, that's crazy. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, so he said he would take me home. So, you know, I get off work, it's 10 o'clock, and actually this was like really kind of nice of him. This is another reason why I was thinking like, oh, maybe he does like me. He was supposed to get off at like 7 or 8, but he stayed until 10 because he wanted to take me home. I didn't get off till 10. But now that I'm thinking about it, he probably might have just said that because he might have, like, you know, was just gonna stay until 10 anyways, because at the end of the day he was still getting paid for it. Like, it's not like he was just like not getting paid for working like overtime. So he was still getting paid for, you know, working till 10. So I don't know why I thought that that made me so special that he wanted to stay till 10 now looking back on it, but you know, I was being delusional back then. So
it's almost hurtful to me to watch her be so dumb.
So 10 o'clock comes around and he takes me home or whatever, and we're like walking to his car, and I realized that like when we're walking out the door to like go out the doors from Walmart, he kind of like speeds up and walks in front of me, and I think it was because he didn't want people to see that we were leaving together. And I peeped that in that moment, but I just didn't say anything because like I said, I wasn't trying to assume nothing, make no assumptions, or accuse him of anything. I was just like, you know, I'm not gonna be like that. Maybe I'm just thinking about it too hard. So we get in his car or whatever, and that's when, you know, we drive around. He takes me to this place that's like, it's like this park that was close to where I lived at. But basically we just had like a little conversation in his car, and he was talking to me. He was like, yeah, you know, like, I like you. I think you're interesting and you're a nice person and all of this stuff, and I just want to talk to you and get to know you more. And you know, he was doing all this stuff. He was like saying, oh, we can have a YouTube channel together and we can do all this stuff together, and I just, you know, stuff like that. And it's like, to be honest, looking back on it now, I should have known that he was full of shit, because first of all, this person barely ever really interacted with me other than at work. So how can you sit up here and say that you like me and that you want to do all this stuff with me and you don't even fucking know me? Like, he really, I mean, he did say that he wanted to get to know me still. Like, he wasn't saying like, oh, I want you to be my girlfriend, but he was saying like he wanted to get to know me and stuff like that more. But I'm like, how are you saying we're gonna do all this stuff and you don't even know me? Like, but you know, me being the naive 18, I was 18. Me being the naive 18-year-old I was at that time, I was just like, well, I don't know, maybe he just does. Maybe he just feels some type of way about me. So I'm like, okay. Mind you, I had never really felt this way about him. Like, he used to flirt with me here and there, but I never really like viewed it as anything serious, or was thinking like, oh, let me, you know, I want to talk to him, or I want to, you know, be his girlfriend or anything like that, until this conversation happened in the car. So he says that, and then that's when I'm like, you know, okay, that's cool, we could talk, like, we can get to know each other and stuff like that. So he drops me off at home, and this is where the beginning of the absolutely fucking bullshit happens. And honestly, looking back on this, I get so mad at myself for allowing myself to deal with this shit. So what he would do is he would basically like disappear for like 2 weeks, and then he would text me, or he would come see me for like 30 minutes and pop up on me and just like ask me questions about how I was doing, and like do stuff like try to make out with me and stuff like that, and just disappear for like another 2 or 3 weeks, and I wouldn't see him again. And then I would like ask him like, dude, like, why do you keep doing that? Like, do you actually like me? Do you want to talk to me? Or like, have you changed your mind? Or do you just want play? Like, what are you doing here? Like, what is this? And he would always reassure me and tell me like, no, I like you, I just got a lot of stuff going on in my life. And y'all, I know that's like a classic hoe line. Like, hoes always say, oh, I got all this stuff going on, I got shit going on. But he actually would explain it to me. Like, he would actually tell me like, you know, things going on in his family. I'm not going to really disclose a lot of information just because I don't want to. I feel like that's just not okay. But he would just say like, tell me about the things that he had going on, which I do believe that those could really be things that he does have going on. But I don't really think that those are the reasons why he wasn't talking to me and why he would like go ghost for a long time. So he's telling me all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to be like mean or rude, because you know, I am the type of person who can understand if you have things going on in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't trying to like force him or rush him into anything, or be like, oh, you have to talk to me, or oh, fuck what you got going on in your life. Like, I didn't want to come across like that or come off as that. So that's why I just allowed him to do that. And I was just like, okay, like, you know, I understand, I'll be here for you type stuff, which was a fucking mistake because that nigga was fucking lying. He does all of this stuff, and then that's when it's been probably like a few months of us like not even talking. I would never really claim that we have ever actually talked, because this was not a real talking stage, but it had been a few months since we were supposed to be talking or whatever. And one day I texted him because I'm just like, I don't know, I just feel like if you really like somebody, you will make time for them, like, and they will. Girls out here who are going through some similar situations as this, just know if a guy likes you, he's gonna make time to talk to you. He's not gonna sit up here and make all these excuses and disappear for 2 or 3 weeks and not talk to you and not spend time with you or hang out with you. Like, if he really likes you, he will figure out a way to do it, and he will make time for you. And also, I was just feeling like, you know, I understand you got stuff going on, but at the same time, who asked to talk to who? You came up to me and you approached me and you told me that you wanted to talk to me and you wanted to get to know me. And you already knew that you had all of this stuff going on in your life before you decided to talk to me, or you decided to say that. So why would you say that if you know that you have all this stuff going on in your life and you're not able to have a relationship right now? So one day I just decided to text him and I'm like, hey, can we talk whenever you get the chance? And he texts me back and he's like, yeah, what's up? And I just asked him, like, do you really want to talk to me? Like, you say that you want to talk to me, but you don't act like it. You never text me, you never make an effort to hang out with me, you never actually communicate with me or do anything with me. Like, do you really want to talk to me, or like, what's going on? And then that's when he basically like tells me, like, at first I did want to talk to you, but then that's when I realized that I need to focus on myself more. Oh shit, what is this? So I don't really want to talk to you no more. Like, the feeling kind of drifted off. And I was just like, okay, that's cool, like, thank you for being honest. Now, of course, I was very pissed off, I was very upset, but I didn't express that in any way to him. I didn't like go off on him or something like that. Old me definitely would have went off on him, but the new me, you know, like I said, with new year, new me, I was learning to be, you know, more accepting and a nicer person, and just to be more understanding of people, or just to not even put my energy into stuff like that. There's no point of getting like angry and cussing them out, because it's not gonna make the situation different or make you really feel any better. So there was really no point of me doing that. I've matured past that level now. But yeah, so we stopped talking. That's when 2 weeks go by, and it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm not sleeping, but I'm like about to go to sleep, like laying in my bed, and I get a call, and I look on my phone and it's his number.
That doesn't make no sense.
So I answered the call because I didn't have his number saved anymore. I had to delete his number. I answered the call and I'm like, hello? And he's like, hey, stink.
Do I fucking know your loser ass? Go suck your father's dick, boy.
And I'm like, who is this? I tried to act like I didn't know who it was, because when somebody that you don't like call you or text you or like something like that, saying who is this is just so powerful, because it makes them feel like they have no relevance in your life at all. So I said, like, who is this? And he's like, oh, it's Adrian, whatever. So he starts talking about something, I don't know, and then he ends up hanging up. And he texts me the next day and he asked me like, hey, how are you, how you been, and stuff like that. A few days later, I'm blow drying my hair. He calls me and he's like, hey, can I come see you? I don't know why I was being, I'm trying to see if this is too light. I think this is probably too light. I don't know what was going on in my mind at this point in time. But I was just like, yeah, you can come see me, whatever. So he comes to my house, he picks me up, and we're driving around and he's talking to me and stuff. He takes me, he tries to be romantic, he tries to be cute. Nigga takes me back to the spot of that park that was near my house, and he's like, you remember this spot? Like, this is the spot where I first told you I liked you and stuff like that. Like, boy, shut the fuck up with your lying ass. He's talking about, yeah, I'm sorry about how I treated you before. I want to start over. I want to try again and get to know you better this time. And, you know, before I was being a dick and I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I didn't mean to hurt you, and I would just like to try over and start again. Looking back on it now, I'm thinking like, how did I not know this nigga was full of shit? But when I think about it in the situation like that I was in, how was I ever supposed to know that he was lying to me? Like, he really gave off no, I'm not gonna say he gave off no indication that he was lying, because he did give off indications that he was lying. But like I said, I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I was trying to see the good in him, and I was trying to be positive. The fact that he didn't go to the same school really didn't help. Because you know what they say, like, if your nigga don't go to the same school as you, you already know you're getting cheated on. Like, I'm not saying that he was my nigga, but you know what I'm saying. Like, if you talking to somebody and he go to a different school, he's not only talking to you, he's talking to a whole bunch of other girls. He says he want to start over, and I'm like, okay, we can start over. So that's when I'm telling him, like, but I want to see a change in you. Like I said, there have been times where I asked him, like, are you sure that you want to talk to me? You sure you like me? He would sit up here and promise me that he liked me and reassure me that he liked me and that he wanted to talk to me. And I'm telling him, like, if you want another chance with me, you're gonna have to step your game up. I'm gonna need to be, you know, get some effort from you. Like, you're gonna have to communicate with me. You're gonna have to actually act like you like me, because if not, then I'm not gonna continue to talk to you. And he was like, okay, I promise I'm gonna do better this time, or I'm gonna do better, whatever. It was a lie. So he texted me consistently for, I say, the first day after that. And when I say consistently, this is the most texts that he has sent me in one day. He texted me 3 times that day. So that should show you the amount of non-effort that he was putting into this relationship, because the fact that the most that he texted me in one day was like 3 times is fucking ridiculous. Ladies, know your worth. Do not put up with shit like this. Do not put up with niggas. I would have really vivid dreams about this guy, and it got so bad to the point to where I literally had a dream about him every single day for like 5 days in a row, and they were all nightmares like this, okay? But I feel like every girl has to have this experience of like being delusional in order to learn, because if I would have never experienced this, I would have never learned, you know, to never ever allow anything like this again. So I am still grateful that I experienced it. But anyways, yeah, so he texted me like 3 times that day, and then he just pretty much goes back to doing the same stuff that he was doing before, like ghosting, like not talking to me for like a long time and stuff like that. Also, like during this time, like this whole entire time of us like talking, and us like not even talking, but him just doing stupid shit, or just this whole situation, I never had one good dream about this guy. Every dream that I had about him was a nightmare, and I would wake up feeling anxious, or I would feel sad, or I would feel like just like shit. I remember one day I woke up for work, because I used to have 2 jobs, and I woke up early in the morning for my first job, and I felt like shit because I had a dream about him. And when I went to work, I felt like shit that entire shift. For like the whole shift, like my 5-hour shift, I felt like shit. But by the time I got to my second job, I didn't feel like that anymore. But there were so many times where I would like have dreams about him, and I never really understood why. And I was like, at first I thought that it was me being paranoid, or me being like anxious, or me being insecure. And now when I think about that, I get so mad at myself, because I'm like, why was the automatic response of this to blame it on myself? Why did I automatically think that it was a problem with me? Like, why did I automatically jump to, oh my god, it's me? You know what I'm saying? But the dreams that I had were basically like of him just doing things like being unloyal, and like talking to other girls, and lying and stuff like that. So that was making me suspicious. And I'm very spiritual, okay? I'm one of those really spiritual people. I'm very in tune with myself. And this is one of the ways that I actually found out that I have psychic abilities. If you don't believe in that type of stuff, cool for you, but I definitely do, because I experienced this, and this was fucking crazy for me. But like I said, the dreams will always tell me that he was talking to other girls. He was like basically being a hoe, and I just thought that it was something wrong with me. I didn't know that they were trying to tell me that. But so time goes on, I'm out driving or whatever, and I'm just chilling, you know. I'm actually with one of my friends. He texts me, and he's like, what you doing? And I'm like, I'm out driving right now. He's like, come see me, come by my house. So I dropped my friend off, and I go over to his house, and we had like a pretty nice night. We went downtown, you know, like we sat by the river and talked, and he was just basically telling me like a lot of stuff in his life, and how he got all this stuff going on, and how he got all these responsibilities, and you know, that he does want to talk to me, but sometimes he gets in like modes where he just like says fuck everybody, and he don't want to be bothered with nobody. Which I'm like, I understand having that, because I'm like that sometimes too, but you can't be like that when you're in a relationship, or when you're trying to talk to somebody. Like, you can't just push me away and be mean to me for no reason, just because you are going through your own shit. Like, that means that you have stuff that you still need to work on, and you don't need to be in a relationship. And right then and there I knew that, but I don't know, I was just being stupid. So we had this conversation, and we had a nice night, whatever, and I went home later on that day, probably like 7 o'clock in the morning. And that night he was telling me like, you know, I have times where I want to push people away sometimes, but I do want to talk to you, and I'm gonna make an effort to do all this stuff like that. So then that's when a few days later go by, he texts me, and he's like, I'm just letting you know, like, I'm in one of those moods again where I don't really want to mess with nobody, and I just kind of want to be by myself. And I'm like, okay, cool, I'll be here for you when, you know, you're ready to come back or whatever like that. And then honestly, now that I think about it, like, I I know I say that a lot, like, now that I think about it. But, like, now that I think about it, I feel like that was so stupid for me to do that. Because he obviously was talking to a whole bunch of other girls. Like, it didn't have shit, I'm pretty sure that it didn't have shit to do with him and what he had going on in his life. He was talking to other girls. And I'm gonna tell you how I know that he was talking to other girls. I'm not just assuming that he was talking to other girls. No, I know it for a fact that he was talking to another girl. So basically, this day happens and it goes on, and that's when a few weeks go by. And I think this was the last straw. The last straw was this dream that I had. And I think it was when I ended up having dreams about him every single day. That was the last fucking straw. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm tired of feeling like this. I'm tired of having these dreams. I'm tired of this shit. I'm about to just figure out what is going on. Either you want to talk to me or you don't. Because at this point, I met him in February. And we started, I guess, talking or whatever in like maybe April. It was now like July or June. I think it was June. July, one of those. It had been a long time that he had been basically telling me he wanted to talk to me and all of this stuff and like just leading me on. So one day I text him and I'm like talking to him and I'm like, yeah, like when I get my license, you know, I want to come see you more, stuff like that. And we were texting before that and he stops responding after I say that. So that's when later on that night, I give him about like a few hours to respond. Later on that night, probably like 10 or 11, I text him again and I pretty much went off on this boy. I don't know if I'm gonna put the messages up here. I might put the messages up here just to show you guys like what I said. But I start going off of him. I don't really cuss him out or anything like that because like I said, I don't really feel like that would actually do anything. But I'm really just telling him about himself and really saying the truth. Like for a long time, I held back on going off on him or saying anything like that to him because I didn't want to come off as selfish or rude because like I said, I understood that he had stuff going on in his life and I didn't want to make it seem like I didn't care about that stuff or like he should put me in front of that stuff or like that stuff wasn't important or anything like that. Like I didn't want to come off like that. I didn't want to come off as rude or anything like that. So that's why I never brought it up. But at this point, I was just so fucking tired of that shit. And I was just like, you know what? Whatever happens, happens. If he wants to talk to me, he wants to. But if not, he don't. Like, and if he don't want to change the ways that he is doing, then I'm not gonna keep talking to him because during this whole time, I knew I was being delusional, okay? It's not like I just really thought that he was a great person. Like, I knew I was being delusional. My friends were telling me, like, girl, you need to stop talking to him. He does not fucking like you. Like, he's crazy. He's doing, like, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, I'm just trying to be nice and give him the benefit of the doubt. And I'm, like, trying to consider, you know, what he has going on in his life. And whatever. But also, like, I had this feeling in the back of my head and, like, this anxiety around the situation. Like, every time I would think about it, I would get super anxious and get super, like, weird about it because of just the way that it made me feel. I text him or whatever, and I basically tell him, like, this is why I don't text you, or this is why I don't talk to you, because you don't ever text me back when I text you, and you saying that you want to talk to me and all this stuff, and you got all this stuff going on in your life, but I didn't ask to talk to you. You asked to start over with me. And basically saying stuff like that, like pretty much telling him that I'm done with his shit. So that's when this nigga got the nerve to text me back in the morning. He sent me like a sentence. I sent him this big ass paragraph. He sent me a sentence, basically said something like, Brielle, you don't ever talk to me, or something like that, or you barely ever talk to me, I don't want to hear it, or something like that. Then that's when I sent him this other big paragraph basically telling him like about himself some more, and he never texted me back, y'all. That was in maybe like August or July. He never texted me back. I have not heard from him since then. I did see him one time at the mall, but I didn't say anything to him. I just kept walking. But that was the last time that I talked to this person. And yeah, so it was so crazy because like maybe like 2 weeks after we stopped talking, one of my friends, like I said, I used to go to the school that he currently goes to. So one of my friends from that school was somewhere with him, and he was talking about me. And basically, he was saying something like, I don't like her. And my friend was like, who? And he was like, Brielle. And so that's what my friend told me. I never said anything to him. I didn't text him again. I was just like, all right, that's my answer. I know he don't like me for real. He's not really serious, so I'm gonna stop talking to him. And after this situation, like, I was already talking to somebody else anyway, so I wasn't super duper hurt about it or anything like that. And I kind of already could get the gist of that he didn't really like me. But I just kind of felt like more so like betrayed. Like,
why would you do that? Huh?
Dude, I never asked for any of this. Like, you approached me to begin with. You asked me to talk to you. Like, you asked to start over. I never asked for any of this. So what was the point of you doing that? Like, and for a long time, I like I said, I tried to blame myself, and I felt like it was my fault for a lot of the things that were happening. And I really had to learn, like, no, it was him. And I really believe, I don't want to say that he was like manipulating me, but I think he was. I don't know if he intentionally manipulated me, but I definitely do believe that he was manipulating me in some way. And even though that, you know, this situation was, oh shit, very disheartening, and it was traumatizing, and it did affect the way that I view relationships now. Like, now I view relationships so differently because of this whole situation. I just view people differently. Like, when that happened to me, it made it so hard for me to trust anybody again. Like, it made me feel like I could never trust anybody, because how can I ever believe anything that anyone ever says to me? Because you never know if they're really telling the truth or not. And I don't know, it just like, it just really fucked with me for a long time. But it wasn't like to the point where I was sad. Like, it just really fucked up my trust, and like me wanting to even be in a relationship. Like I said, I was talking to somebody else at the time that I found out what he said about me, and honestly, it made me not even want to talk to this person no more. Like, it made me question, like, do I really want to talk to this person? Like, do I really want to continue a relationship with this person? Because like, I can't trust nobody. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even want to talk to nobody no more, because it's just like, I can't trust anything that anybody says to me. I can't trust people. I can't trust anything. So I just didn't even want to be bothered with like any of that. But you know, me and that person was still talking. Like, he didn't play me or anything like that. He was actually a really nice person, and we don't talk anymore. But it wasn't like anything bad that happened like between us. We are still cool. We still, you know, whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much the story of how I got played by my coworker, and how I also found out that I had psychic abilities. For this blush, I don't know, I feel like it looks too blushy. Like, I kind of want to use like a powder or something over it, but I don't want to use like too much powder. But yeah, moral of the story is, listen to your intuition. My dreams were telling me that he was lying to me. They were trying to tell me that he was a hoe. They were trying to warn me. My angels were trying to warn me, but I wasn't paying attention, because like I said, I was automatically thinking that it had something to do with me and trying to blame it on myself. And you know, like I said, even though this situation was very, very traumatic for me, and it did cause me to look at life differently and look at people differently, I still would, like, if I had the option to go back into the future and choose if I wanted this to happen to me or not, I would say yes. I do want it to happen to me, because even though like I got played or whatever really hard, I still learned a lot from this. Like, I learned a lot about myself, and it really like had me do a lot of self-reflection, because I thought about like how I really blamed myself for everything, and how I automatically thought it was me, and how I thought it was because I was insecure, and how, I don't know, like how I was just so self-critical of myself for a long time. Also, like, if I would have never met this guy, I would have never started my spiritual journey. This person is the reason why I started my spiritual journey, because I was trying to manifest him. Literally, like, I was trying to manifest him, and that's the whole reason why I got into spirituality. But even though I didn't end up like manifesting him in the long run, I'm still so extremely grateful for everything that I've learned, because if I would have never met him, I would have never ever, I'm not gonna say I would have never ever, because I was already kind of getting into spirituality at that time when I first met him. But meeting him was what pushed me even more. So I'm still so extremely grateful that I met this person and that I experienced this, because like I said, I learned a lot from it, and it's the reason why I am the person that I am today, and I love the person that I am today, and I love the position that I'm in life right now, and I wouldn't change anything that I did at all. This situation is not my fault. I didn't ask for this to happen to me. I didn't know this was going to happen to me. I didn't deserve this to happen to me. But it was just also crazy, because like, my friend that told me what he said, they didn't know that he knew me. They didn't know we were friends. Moral of the story is, know your worth. Listen to your intuition. If you keep having dreams and nightmares about somebody, stay the fuck away from them. Don't be delusional. Learn from me, okay? I hope everybody learned something from this.
Learn something from this.
Learn from my mistakes. I want to also say that, like, no shade to this person. I don't know if he subscribes to me, or I don't know if he knows about my YouTube channel. If you see this and you know if it's you, because you know what the fuck you did, but I don't have any like hatred towards this person, or like I don't hate him or feel like mad at him. I just I understand why this had to happen to me. Like I said in one of my last videos that I did, I don't take L's. I take lessons. I learn, okay? So this has helped me to grow and evolve spiritually, mentally, emotionally. So I'm not mad at anybody for it. I don't hate him. I don't wish anything bad on him. I hope his life goes great. I hope he, you know, I hope he finds happiness and peace. But at the same time, I would never ever want to talk to you again or see you or come in contact with you again in my life. It's like a bittersweet thing. Like, I'm appreciative for it, I'm grateful, and I understand. Like, I don't think he's a bad person or anything. I think that he just has his own issues that he needs to deal with and he needs to heal from. And yeah, but I think that it also takes a lot of growth to be able to like think of it in that way, because a lot of people would just say, oh fuck him, he ain't shit, he a cheater, he a liar, he did this, da 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 da. But I can look at it from a different perspective and understand what it really is, and not just like get so caught up on what my two eyes see, but like looking deeper in and thinking about it in a deeper perspective. So that's another thing that I love about myself. By the way, if you want to check out my podcast, the link is in my description. It's called Society is a Scam. It'd be greatly appreciated if you check it out. Make sure to go ahead and follow me on all my social medias, and make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like, and turn on post notifications so that way you're notified every time I upload a new video, because I upload new videos every single week. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening to my story. I hope it helped you in some way, and I hope to see you guys in the next video that I post.